eat it, they'll be like, say what? It's vegan? So yeah. Hey guys, it's your girl Chef Joya and welcome back to Say What is Vegan. I know how y'all love a good old mac and cheese, so it's time for me to come around again with another delicious recipe. We're gonna make New Orleans style mac and cheese just in time for the holidays. So let's go ahead and get into this delicious and easy recipe. All right, so we're gonna get into this mac and cheese recipe. I first found out about this recipe when I was about 16 years old. I was working in a hair salon. Yes, your girl did hair, you know, explain all the different wigs. The owner of the shop, she was from New Orleans, and she said she was making mac and cheese. And I seen her pull out spaghetti noodles. I was like, what is that, ma'am? And she said, this is how we make mac and cheese in New Orleans. So this is how I'm gonna show you how to make this mac and cheese, and it's perfect for the holidays. So we're gonna start off by adding some vegan butter. Whatever that amount is, you'll get the measurements in the cookbook, okay? Because it'll be in Baby It's Just Vegan. So we're gonna add some vegan butter to that. You can add more or less. I wouldn't say less, okay, just add more. Then we're gonna take some tapioca flour or tapioca starch. We're gonna add some of that to this as well. And then we're also going to use some all-purpose flour. Now the all-purpose flour is what's traditionally used inside this recipe to make a roux. Tapioca starch is typically not, because it's used in vegan recipes to give it a stretch, because we know vegan cheese don't stretch like that. So we're going to add that tapioca starch to help give it a little stretch. Then we're going to add a little bit of our vegan whole milk. And you want to make sure you always bring your milk down to temperature anytime you're making mac and cheese. It just helps the cheese not seize. And we're going to add a little bit at a time. So I add a little bit of that, and I'm gonna go ahead and take my whisk and start whisking it around. And I am doing this over medium-high heat, so you gotta move fast. We don't want no lumpy, bumpy mac and cheese now. And the thicker you have your roux, the thicker your mac and cheese is gonna be, okay? And I have my noodles also cooking in a little bit of vegetable stock to give it flavor. You wanna either cook it in vegetable stock or some salt, because your noodles are going to absorb the flavoring of the water. So you wanna make sure you have it seasoned with something. You don't want it to just be bald head and taste like nothing. All right, so while that's starting to heat up, we're gonna go ahead and add our seasonings. So I'm gonna use some of my Just Magic seasoning, which is my all-purpose seasoning. That has my salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And guess what, y'all? Your girl is coming out with a new Cajun seasoning that will be available by the time you see this video. We'll have my new Cajun seasoning we're gonna add to it. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of hot sauce, or use cayenne pepper if you choose. I'm gonna add a little bit of vegan Worcestershire sauce. Then we're gonna add a little bit of nutritional yeast. Now y'all know how I feel about nutritional yeast. You don't be too froggy with it. A lot of times in vegan cooking, people put way too much nutritional yeast in here. We're just gonna put just about enough. You know, whatever that measurement is, you'll get it in the book. Then we're gonna also add some vegan cheese, and I'm gonna do a mix of vegan mozzarella cheese and a mix of vegan cheddar cheese. So I'm gonna add about 4 ounces. Well, honestly, that was like 3 ounces. And then I'm gonna add about 2 ounces in this one, all right? Because we're gonna use the rest and we're gonna add some more. Trust me, it's gonna be fine. All right, so let's give this a nice little mix around. Now we gotta add some sharpness to it, so we're gonna add some Dijon mustard. Add our Dijon mustard. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, a little bit of Dijon mustard. And as I'm thinking about it, I think I wanna add some more cheese to it. I just think it needs to be cheesy, you know. Y'all know I'm extra, so be extra like Chef Joya. We're gonna add some vegetable bouillon to it to give it a little bit more flavor. Oh, and I almost forgot, we need a little bit of sugar, but you don't want this to taste like a sweet mac and cheese. It just has to have enough, a little but not like a you know. Girl, all this seasoning. Listen, when it's vegan, you gotta put in a little bit more work. I know some of y'all from New Orleans like, we don't put all that in our mac and cheese. You don't have to, because you're using regular cheese. When it's vegan cheese, this thing be needing some help, right? That's why some of y'all, well, let me scoop some of that out. This is funny. Look, even pros makes mistakes, okay? All right, we gonna see, Lord. It's not sweet. Thank goodness for raw cane sugar. That ain't sweet as regular sugar. All right, I tasted it. It's actually pretty good. I do think it needs a little bit more seasoning, so we're gonna add a little bit more of my Cajun seasoning to it. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't gonna be too salty. You always can add, but you really can't take it out. Another thing that I wanna go ahead and add, even though I have all my spices in there, I think that mac and cheese has to have like a lot of black pepper, right? Got my flavors going, and it's about time to add our pasta noodles. All right, so we're gonna take our noodles that's still in our vegetable broth. Like I like to cook my noodles halfway and then leave the top on it and let the steamy heat just cook it the remaining of the time while making my main sauce so it doesn't get overcooked. We're gonna take some of our noodles and we're gonna add this to the sauce. Make sure you drain a lot of that water off so you don't have soupy sauce. And we're gonna add it right to this pot. Now, if you want to go ahead and add it directly to your cast iron skillet, you can. I just like to make sure that no noodle is left untouched, okay? We wanna make sure it has all the sauce. So I'm gonna give this a nice little mix around to see how it's doing. Look, what is it doing? Drowning. Y'all know how I feel about drowning your noodles. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and spray it with some non-stick spray. You can use whatever it is that you like. It doesn't matter the brand or the kind. Just make sure it's a neutral flavor. Then we're gonna go ahead and pour as much of this as possible over into our cast iron skillet. Whoa, 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 yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Look, I got a big cast iron skillet. That's gonna be real nice. Look at that. Round of applause. And of course, we're gonna top it with some more seasoning. All right, more seasoning. We're gonna use my Just Magic seasoning, all-purpose seasoning. Bam, 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 bam. Then we're gonna go ahead and this is my little twist. So I'm gonna add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. You know, I'm trying to give y'all some flavor. We're gonna add the rest of our vegan cheeses that we have. So we had that cheddar, and we have that mozzarella. This part is optional. We're gonna take some liquid egg. We're gonna use our Just egg, which is our vegan egg, and we're gonna pour it on top to help solidify it. Dion used to use it. When I seen her make this when I was 16 years old, straight from New Orleans. I can't remember which ward she was from, and I don't wanna say the wrong one, because she see this, I don't want her to be like, I ain't from there. So I'm just gonna add some egg to it. So I'm using about half a bottle. I have my oven on 425. I'm gonna tint this with some aluminum foil for about 15 minutes, uncover it, put it under a broiler for about 5 minutes, and then you're gonna see the final look. So this is completely done. This has to sit for at least 15 minutes because you want this, first of all, you don't wanna burn off your taste buds, okay? Second of all, you want this to congeal together. All right, we're gonna go ahead and scoop some of this out. Yes. Oh baby, that's good. Don't it look so heavy to try it? All right, got to twirl it on my fork. Like, I like the inside, that's like my favorite part, okay. Blow. Look, it's been sitting and it's still super hot. Like, it's like a mild flavor with just enough seasoning. Super creamy, not super cheesy flavor, but you can taste the cheese, but it's more so like just a luscious cream sauce on some noodles that's sticking perfectly. I cannot wait for this full recipe to come out in my cookbook, baby. It's just vegan. You can follow the details of this recipe right here. If you need the measurements, it will definitely be in the cookbook. Make sure you're following Say What is Vegan and subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend, and share with the world. I'm Chef Joya, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.